Welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 15, National Football League. San Francisco 49ers on the road at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing some better football of late, coming off of a blowout win over the Buffalo Bills at home last week. The winners of 4 out of their last 6 or so. They've been playing some extremely good football of late, and so I felt like they would give San Francisco a run for their money. I just didn't think they would be able to do enough. They're not a good enough football team to win this football game, but that wasn't going to stop them from putting up one whale of a fight. And so if you're San Francisco, you can't come in here pussyfooting or tiptoeing or tap dancing around this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. They can get after you defensively, and Mike Glennon is building confidence week in and week out. And so you needed to come in, you needed to drop the hammer on these guys early on, exert your dominance and your will, and show them that you're the best football team in this game and leave no doubts. And so I was looking for the 8-5 San Francisco 49ers to do exactly that coming into this game. To not allow, 9-4. I was looking for the 9-4 San Francisco 49ers to come in and do exactly that in this football game. Don't allow this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team to gain confidence as the game wears on and be in this game. Look up in the fourth quarter, look at the scoreboard and say, hey, we're only down 3. Why not us? No need for that. Because, again, you can't afford any letdowns in the NFC wildcard race. The division probably out of reach by now. But you need to secure your spot in the postseason. If you feel like this is your year, you're supposed to be in the Super Bowl, it's your turn to win, you've paid your dues. If you feel that way, then you need to win this game. This isn't one that you can afford to drop on the road to the 4-9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's get to the board and break this one down through the eyes of me, Louie T. So, 9-4 San Francisco 49ers. 4-9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I thought it was going to be a solid performance by the Buccaneers. I just think that when it's all said and done, I said there's no way that they're going to be able to beat the 49ers. The 49ers know what's at stake. They know that they have to play winning football down the stretch. I just didn't see it happen. So, methodical opening drive for San Francisco as they march down the field and end the drive with a 3-yard touchdown to Michael Crabtree at 7-0. Great job by Colin Kaepernick of buying time. He did this several times on his opening drive, and I'm starting to see him use his wheels a little bit more, sort of like last season, where he escaped the pocket, extends plays, make things happen with his arm. He's got a cannon for a right arm. He needs to extend plays and allow guys to uncover and make some things happen with his arm, and I thought he did that in this job. I thought he did a great job of doing that in this game, and this play to me kind of defined what he can bring to the table if he's patient, if he takes his time, if he uses his legs, if he gives guys an opportunity to uncover. These are probably going to be some plays that result from him doing that, much like last season when he was so successful. Give guys a chance to win matchups. Even if they don't win it initially, you buy time, they'll come open, you find them, and you hit them. He did it here, 7-0 San Francisco early in this game. Bolden goes for 25 on 3rd and 15, which sets up a 47-yard Phil Dawson field goal. It's 10-0. I told you you would love Phil the Boot. I think he's converted on 23 consecutive field goals for you, which is a franchise record. I told you, you'd fall in love. And he was shaky early in the season. You were like, hey, wait a minute. Did we go out and get this guy for this? And I said, relax. Phil will make it worth your while. You're seeing it now. This guy is as reliable as it gets in the National Football League. It's 10-0 San Francisco. Cap hooks up with VD for a 52-yard bomb as the 49ers take a commanding 17-0 lead. And I always say this. If you don't take care of the VD early, it'll spread like wildfire and you'll be infected. And VD got loose. And once he gets loose, you're in some serious trouble. He got loose in the secondary, and Vernon Davis made you pay. 52-yard hookup, runs into the wallpaper in the back, runs into the wall, falls down. Nice little scene. It's 17-0. That's exactly the start you want to this game if you're San Francisco. Exert your dominance and your will early in this game. Knock them out the box early. Show them who's boss and show them that they don't have a chance in this game. I actually thought about stopping my notes at this point And then Tampa Bay said, hey, hold on a second. Don't stop just yet. Give me a chance. It's only the first half. It's not done yet. Give me a chance. Bucs get on the board right before the half as Glennon connects with B-Jax for an 11-yard touchdown. It's 17-7. I said, okay, there we go. You're back in the ball game. Let's see what you do in the second half. What you do coming out into the second half will go a long ways of deciding the outcome of this game. 49ers add another field goal. It's 20-7. I'm starting to get in that danger zone. I'm starting to feel like Tampa Bay might be out of this one. Mike Glennon orchestrates a 10-play, 84-yard drive, culminating in a 24-yard Tim Wright touchdown. I like this Tim Wright guy. I like Tim Wright a lot. I'm telling you, I like him a lot. And he's a find for you because he's a guy that can stretch the field. He's a mismatch nightmare. And the 49ers have some of the best cover linebackers in the league. They couldn't stay with Tim Wright. And that's what he brings to the table. A guy that can get open, can separate from defenders, too big for most safeties and corners, too fast and too athletic for most linebackers. That's Tim Wright, and that's the guy that you got to get the football to more. After V-Jax, I feel like he's your next biggest target. You need to get him the football more. I thought he was big in this game, and that was a huge touchdown. Because you look up at the scoreboard in the fourth quarter, and it's 20-14, and I'm like, whoa, Tampa Bay's in this football game. And then, in typical 4-9 team fashion, this is how this game got out of control. After a gritty drive by the Niners, they get a 22-yard field goal and extend the lead to 2 possessions at a 9-point lead at 23-14, okay? So you said, all right, so they extended the lead out. If you're Tampa Bay, go get something, whether it's a touchdown or field goal, get something to get this back to a one-score game, all right? This is where the 4-9 element comes into play. On the ensuing kickoff, the Bucs have a miscue that costs them a touchdown as Russell Shepard fumbles on a reverse handoff from Eric Page and an S&S by Kendall Hunter. Game, set, match. Everybody drive home safely. It's 30-14. So let me explain how this play unfolded. 49ers kick off the football after the field goal to extend the lead out to 9 at 23-14. They kick it off. Eric Page fields the ball about 2 yards deep into the end zone. He starts out and then he runs laterally toward the sidelines and hands the ball off on a reverse to Russell Shepard, who then subsequently fumbles the football, falls down on the ground. Kendall Hunter scoops it up and dives into the end zone. Touchdown. That can't happen on a kickoff. That can't happen on a kickoff return where your team doesn't even get to offensively take the field and see what they can do. That can't happen where you're not even touched by a defender. You're not even touched by the opposing team special teams player. You just fumble on your own volition. That can't happen. And again, I talked about this in the Tennessee game. Tennessee had a blunder like that against Arizona that cost them some points in that game. A game that they would ultimately lose by 3 in overtime. 4-9, 5-8, 3-10, 4-11. 4-9 teams do stuff like this. That's what teams that don't win and haven't won and don't know how to win, they make mistakes like this. You don't see the 49ers making mistakes like this. They don't try to get fancy. You know the motto, and I told you, I heard this from a very wise man. Don't be cute. Don't be pretty. Don't be cute. Be good. And you try to get cute here. This was all an illusion, trying to play an optical illusion on the minds and on the eyes of the 49ers. You wanted them to all start one way. You get them going that way. You reverse the field that way and get a seam up the sidelines and you score a touchdown. You were looking to be cute. Don't be cute. Be good. Let Eric Page catch it and try to bust one. Let your offense come on the field that the last time they were on the field, they scored a touchdown. Let them back on the field. You didn't do that. And that's what a 4-9 team does right there. They turn the ball over. Unforced turnover. This was an unforced error. Ill-advised. Unnecessary. Game over. You worked that hard to get back into this game. You were down 17-0. You were down 20-7. You worked that hard to get back into the game, only to have your special teams unit piss it away. Tried to be cute, tried to be pretty. Just be good. Just be good. Sometimes just being good is enough. And on this particular play, you tried to be pretty, you tried to be cute, and it cost you the ball game. Now, I'm not saying you were going to win, but at least you were going to make it interesting down the stretch. After that touchdown, it went to 30-14. You're done. You are done. All the wind in your sails had been deflated. All the air had been let out of Raymond James Stadium. You were finished. 49ers run away. They tack on a late field goal, win the game 33-14. They did what they were supposed to do. They took care of business. And that's one thing that good teams do. They get it done offensively, defensively, and special teams. Good teams are good teams. They're not good units. They're not good on offense or good on defense or good on special teams. They're good at everything. They might be better at some things. In the case of the 49ers, they're better on defense than they are on special teams and offense. But their special teams unit is just as good as their offense. And their offense is just as good as their defense. Everything is solid. Everything isn't going to be A across the board. Their defense is an A-. Their offense is a B-. And their special teams is just a solid B. And when you're a good football team, that's generally what you get. You get good play all the way around. All facets of the game. For bad football teams, one of their 3 facets of the game probably is in the toilets. And you get blunders like this from game to game. You don't know which facet it's going to come from. Your offense might have 4 turnovers. Your special teams might make a blunder like this that costs you in the game. Your defense might have a horrendous effort, give up 4 touchdowns and a couple of field goals, and you lose 34-13. Those happen when you're a bad football team. When you're a good team like the 49ers, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen from week to week. They had 1 bad game this year. 2. They got blown out at home by Indy, and they got beat up on the road against Seattle. That's it. They've played some stinkers this year, but they haven't been beat up like that. But, again, that's what good teams do. They find a way to win games. And then, consequently, bad teams find ways to lose. That's just the nature of the beast in the National Football League. And so, San Francisco goes to 10-4 with the victory. Tampa Bay falls to 4-10. They gave it a run like I expected them to. I would have loved to have seen them get the football back offensively and see if they could have done something with it. Instead, special teams tries to be special. They try to be cute. They fumble the football away. 49ers, being the opportunistic football team that they are, they recover the fumble, get in the end zone, puts this game out of reach. They get it done 33-14. They go to 10-4 on the season. Tampa Bay falls to 4-10 on the season. They got it done. What more do I need to say? So that's going to do it for this installment of In the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. I've got a couple more matchups to break down from week number 15 in the National Football League.